I am Johnny Massacre and welcome to my world. Tonight, what is the next big woke video game flop? You're about to find out. Who is with me? Give me a hell yeah or a hell no for Dragon Age Veilguard. So, a game is coming out just in time for Halloween on October the 31st, which received some promotion from IGN the other day, specifically its character creator, where the game's woke infection was revealed to the world post the ultra woke Sony Concord flop. So it looks like this is going to be the next game with a huge budget that's going to fail massively. So Dragon Age Veilguard is a single player fantasy role-playing game, and it turns out the game is directed by a trans woman, has an option for your character to be non-binary, features top scars, which for those that don't know is also known as a subcutaneous mastectomy, which is where you cut off a woman's breast to try to make yourself look more like a man. Yes, that is in Dragon Age Veilguard's character creator, that also refuses to allow you to expand your character's breasts or arse size larger than the average DEI hires pitiful sense of self-worth. That is right, no boobs or buns at all in this game coming out very soon. It also has terrible voice acting, and all of the female characters in Dragon Age Veilguard sound like a girl on month 10 of testosterone. It is that bad. So, if you want to see what I'm talking about, check this out. Here is the director for Dragon Age Veilguard. You can see in its X profile, it calls itself a queerosexual gendermancer. So this is the actual game director of Dragon Age the Veilguard. You can see here something that she said recently, which is, as a queer trans woman, I have a perspective on the games that not everyone has. Dragon Age has long been a place where LGBTQIA+ folks can see people like themselves represented respectfully. It's inherently very queer, and it's such a rare thing for marginalized communities to have representation where we feel proud and powerful in how we're depicted. Okay. So that's the person who's directing Dragon Age. Now, what really brought to the masses' attention the fact that this game is going to be terrible and woke is the character creator. As previously mentioned, IGN dropped this information. And Learning the Lore says it's the ugliest kunari ever to exist on X. You know a game is going to be woke when they make the characters really disgusting and have extremely asymmetric faces. So that is the actual character creator, according to IGN, and it's amazing that IGN decided to run with this image in order to promote the game. And they said the character creator in Dragon Age the Veilguard is amazing, all caps. You know we are living in George Orwell's worst nightmare when 2 + 2 = 5. So you cannot give the characters in Dragon Age Veilguard big breasts or a big ass. This is maximum boober size in Dragon Age Veilguard. So if you're just listening, this character's boobs are no bigger than a trans woman after hormone replacement therapy after 5 years. So you can't give big boobers to the game, proving it is woke because they want to avert the male gaze and stick one to the patriarchy. And yes, this is the maximum breast size. This is the maximum breast size on the character creator of the next big woke flop. And not only does it feature top surgery scars, but it also contains vitiligo sliders and cellulite sliders. Vitiligo is that skin disease, another way that woke game creators can signify the Marxist oppressed class in their games. It's a signifier of their victimhood. And they also have a cellulite slider, believe it or not. So the memes are flowing. There are memes with maximum arse size next to a picture of Taylor Swift because she has a flat arse. And here is one of the developers of Dragon Age Veilguard talking about how you can choose they, them non-binary pronouns and also add top surgery scars, once again the subcutaneous mastectomy scars of cutting off your breasts to become a trans man inside the game. No, I'm not making this up. This is actually real.
He, him, she, her, and they, them, and then your gender is man, woman, non-binary. Love that. Love the inclusivity. Top surgery scars are also included in this for all of our trans and non-binary rooks out there. I absolutely was blown away by this. It's beautiful to see the inclusion in the game and to see yourself represented. But
wokeness has now become a parody of itself. This is so cliched now. You want to see yourself in the game. The kind of people who think like that are narcissists. They think the whole world revolves around them. Seriously, imagine you're a game developer and even if you're trans, you're putting top scars in a fantasy game. The whole point of fantasy games is that you don't have to look like your real hideous self. You can actually be someone beautiful, strong, muscly, big boobed, or powerful. So why people who want to become women want to see their own flaws in the game makes no sense on the surface, but really it's just the way the left plant their flag into this rich culture of role-playing games and can take over it and use it as a party branch of communism to push out their propaganda message. Yep, so those are the people making the game. You want to see people like yourselves. That's like me making a video game and having like a male character in Japan who like goes around trying to bang loads of hot Japanese girls. Like, how weird would that be in a game? Putting my life inside the game. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to leave your ego at the door and not insert yourself into the middle of everything because of your low self-esteem and mental illness. But these are things that are in Dragon Age Veilguard, believe it or not. So this game is made by BioWare. Now, BioWare made Knights of the Old Republic, a brilliant game. I actually played that back in the day on the Xbox, the original Xbox. I'm old enough to remember that. It was a fantastic game. They also made, what was it? Mass Effect, which is huge, is massive. So they're a very, very big developer indeed. Make no mistake about it. And BioWare are owned by EA, probably the biggest game publisher in the world. So there's a lot riding on this game. Everyone hates EA already without this woke stuff that they're putting into the game. So this game is probably going to be a huge flop because it has a similar negative vibe surrounding it online that Concord did. Concord being now the biggest gaming flop of all time that contains similar woke elements, although arguably some of Concord wasn't even as woke as Dragon Age Veilguard. The character designs are probably woker, but the actual top surgery scars and non-binary pronouns and stuff like this in Dragon Age mean it could be even woker than Concord, and therefore it's very likely to fail just as hard as Concord. And since this is by EA, and since it's been in development since 2015 for 9 years, usually these kind of games like Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk have a budget, a development cost of around $80 to $100 million. So this is going to be another crater in the gaming industry come October the 31st. I watched the trailer for it and it has like a lot of ugly female characters because it's super woke. They put a male character. They couldn't make him totally white because that would be pandering to the landowner oppressor class. So they kind of made him tanned, and then they felt guilty by having a male lead, so they put 3 female characters backing him up and this frumpy cookie muncher behind him. So you can see there the style of the game is pretty woke, like lots and lots of diversity, like forced diversity, ugly female characters to avert the patriarchy's male gaze, and just like a bunch of really ugly characters. The graphics aren't really that good. And so this is looking like an epic fail. So there you go, my friends. Dragon Age Veilguard, the next huge gaming flop coming October the 31st. Chock full of woke elements, directed by trans people. Nothing wrong with that, unless you try to insert your own niche preferences into a mainstream title at the expense of the quality of the gameplay. So get ready for it. what did you think of Dragon Age Veilguard? Do you think I'm overreacting? Do you think we should see people represented? Do you think that because I live in Japan, they need to put white people in every single Japanese TV show and video game with a t-shirt that says SAD, who look just like me and who act just like me? Do you think that's something they should do in Japan? And by extension, they should be doing that in the West? The developers should be inserting their own personal politics. Do you think that all video games in Japan should feature like Donald Trump and things relating to making America great again just because I like it? Or do you think that media should just be made to entertain people and should be free of people's narcissism and personal politics? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm interested to hear what you think. I'm bringing you the news about this because they at least spent 100 million on this game, and it looks like the gaming industry's bubble maybe could be about to burst. Concord tanking after like 8 years in development with a allegedly $400 million worth of investment is huge. That's massive. That's massive news. And you see Microsoft swallowing up a lot of indie developers and then killing them and destroying them, and Sony doing the same things. It doesn't really look that good a year for video gaming, I have to say. And it doesn't look like there's any original stuff coming out. It looks like sequel after sequel after sequel and a lot of woke stuff. So maybe there's going to be a crash in the video game industry. I would not be surprised at all, because we're at critical mass of wokeness now. All these woke games that have been in development for the last like 8 years are coming to fruition, and people are aware of this. People don't like this, and people's discontent is going viral online. So just even the slightest hint of woke stuff now, people are all over it online. So the crash might be coming. I think we probably do need a crash. We need it to be destroyed in order to rebuild it in a much better manner. It's becoming too bloated. There's too much bureaucracy. People have jobs that are completely unnecessary, like these woke consultancy agencies you're spending millions on to make the game look worse and to sell less. Is completely insane. Only a society that's extremely successful can afford such arrogance and time wasting, and that can't go on forever. Eventually the market will have to even itself out. So do you think this game is going to contribute towards a crash in gaming, or do you think gaming is so addictive that maybe companies will scale it back a little bit and people will continue to buy these kind of games? Let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to hear your opinions. PC Gamer is saying this is going to be a great game. PC Gamer said, playing 6 hours of Dragon Age, the Veilguard, gave me the faith its trailers couldn't. This is the BioWare comeback fans want. This is the same news outlet that also had this headline not too long ago. It's hard to complain about hero shooter fatigue when Concord looks this good. So if you get PC Gamer's endorsement, that can be considered the kiss of death. So that's not a very good sign for Dragon Age Veilguard at all. So there's lots of memes with this. So someone's done the character creator with the maximum chest size with Salma Hayek, who's voluptuous and busty and a massive babe. And the Bugle Daily on X says, I'm offended that Salma Hayek's body type is not represented in Dragon Age Veilguard. And that's a great point, because they say you want to see people who look like you, but then what they really mean is see people who look like me, some kind of trans person with small breasts. People with bigger breasts, of whom there are loads out there, are not represented in the game. So when it's about seeing yourself, it means seeing a leftist, seeing a globalist, seeing someone who will vote for Keir Starmer in the UK, seeing someone who will vote for Camel Toe Harris in the USA. That's all it means by being inclusive. It's only inclusive to the left. So we've got this really cool meme, and I use this for the thumbnail for today's YouTube video. If you are watching on YouTube, is a juxtaposition of Dragon Age Veilguard's character creator with maximum breast and booty size, which results in a very tiny booba and booty, with a French bulldog leaning against the wall with a similarly tiny booty. And these images kind of look like they're cut from the same cloth. This is a damning indictment of this woke game that is clearly going to fail. And the characters in this game just look really ugly. And communist art is always ugly, so it's a real commie game. The memes are flowing with this. And at least a tiny niche of society is represented at the expense of everyone else. Out here in Japan, I don't want to see myself represented at the expense of the entire populace, because that would be very narcissistic and insane. But speaking of Japan, at least Korea's getting it right. So we've got a meme juxtaposing the character creator of Dragon Age Veilguard and its lackluster female figures with the full female figures of some Korean titles. And I mean, the marketing kind of speaks for itself here, would you not say? So good night, Dragon Age Veilguard. You are dead on arrival, 31st of October, just in time for Halloween. You're going to get a freaky gaming woke monstrosity, just another one in a long line of them, a long line of them. We had Dustborn, we just had Concord, we're going to get Dragon Age Veilguard, and there's another one, an anti-capitalist game by Sony. It has like $sign at the end of its title, and that I think it's called Fair Games or something. That is going to flop massively as well. We've also got Assassin's Creed Shadows coming out. That is definitely going to flop so hard. Tokyo Game Show is happening pretty much right now in Japan, and Ubisoft have decided not to feature Assassin's Creed at the Tokyo Game Show, apparently, according to a post I read today on X, just showing how Ubisoft know that they're in big trouble this year. Star Wars Outlaws, another flop. They just can't stop it. But if you think wokeness in games and movies is just going to go away because of massive financial fails, you are actually wrong, in my opinion. Socialism knows no bounds and will continue inexorably towards a financial black hole, as it does wherever it is tried out. The people presiding over these woke games get rich from their patrons and lobbyists, and everybody else fails. So it's not just going to go away. But I think you need to stand tall, Massacre mates, and speak your mind online. Because if you do, you'll find out that there are literally millions of other people just like you and just like me who feel the same way. And if you get a bit of woke pushback, you should be happy, in my opinion, that you are hated by some of the most despicable people on the face of planet Earth who want to turn it to shit. So don't be afraid. Call this stuff out. The more we communicate about it, the more we tell the truth about it, the more we shine a light on it, the quicker it will go away. And I don't think it's going to go away because the people are just going to get fired. They'll just find another thing to assimilate. But what will happen is you'll inspire people to push back against it and actually make something good to counter it. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, my friends, because we are legion. Thank you so much, everyone, for tonight. I see some of your comments, and I wonder if we can hear them.
Johnny Massacre says, here we go. Nuke says moo. Ben Wilson says that game makes me wanna KMS, we need more fan service, not censorship. Ben Wilson says BioWare also did Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and Jade Empire.
Yeah.
Ben Wilson says great work, Johnny. Nuke says she looks like she got beat in the face, lol. The femme dwarf. Ben Wilson says PlayStation and Xbox showcases soon just before Tokyo Game Show. Ajay says,
okay.
Hell yeah, Johnny. Nuke says, I love First Descendant, haha.
I haven't played it yet.
Nuke says sorry, 2 minutes behind.
All good, my friend. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, please consider donating streamlabs.com/Johnny Massacre, patreon.com/Johnny Massacre, or paypal.me/give me a hell yeah. We lost some of our long-time patrons recently, so I'm in need of your help more than ever to keep making these episodes. So please do give generously if you do enjoy this, and I'll be able to keep making it. Haven't been around for a little while, but hopefully I'll be with you every single day this week. Slubs, hello Slubs. I see Slubs in the comments. Different company, then now it's BioWare in name only. There you go. So wherever woke consultancy inserts its tendrils, death soon follows, I'm afraid to say. I was watching the Arsenal-Man City game the other day. Lord of mercy, what a crazy game that was. We were screwed by the referee again. Speaking of narcissists, the referee in this game made it all about himself, gave us a red card for the most milquetoast of offences, when the other team did the same offence, didn't get a red card. And it's the second time we've had a red card this season, only in the first 5 games. The same kind of red card for something absolute BS. And fucking hell, bruv. We went 1-0 down against the league leaders who've won 4 league titles on the trot, Man City. Bunch of absolute wankers. And then we came back to 1-1 with the sickest goal ever. I screamed so loud, my neighbours are afraid of me. I just know it. And then we came back with a header, 2-1. It was the sickest game ever. And then on the stroke of half-time, referee said, no, this tiny little offense, I'm going to ruin the entire game for millions of fans. That's what he did. And the second half, we defended against the best team in the world for 45 minutes. Absolutely shut up shop, bruv. Park the bus, mate. We had it. 45 minutes. We went 8 minutes into injury time. We were in the 52nd minute, and they scored with the last kick of the game. They really didn't fucking deserve that. Their striker, Haaland, who looks like a fucking cyclops. His eyes are so close together. If they were any closer together, he would literally be a cyclops. He was a cunt that whole game. He talked shit to our manager, Arteta, at the end and patted him on the back and said, be humble or some shit. Fuck off, you cyclops. Get out of my face. And then when they equalised at the end, our defender, Gabriel, who I call the xenomorph, because even though he's got these white teeth, they're kind of fake and they're like dentures. It looks like they're going to pop out and bite you. That defender pulled his shirt over his head in despair when they equalised. And Haaland, the Cyclops looking wank stain, picked up the ball and like bashed it into his head. No red card for that. But what a fucking crazy game that was. We were on the cusp of history. They hadn't lost at home for something ridiculous like 40 games. And it felt like that was going to be one of those legendary games of like a title winning team. And that was going to define it. And we were fucking skanked by the ref. And we were robbed in the last minute. But anyways, I watched that and it was mad exciting. And what can I say, bruv? Quite disappointed about that. Anyways, I'm going to be back tomorrow. I might do a cheeky live stream and just chat random nonsense with you all. So much love to you all. Take care and good night. Let's keep it rolling. Cheers.